The old servant said to his employer, "Take some sweets." The employer replied, "What's the occasion for sweets?" Then the old servant turned the sweet box upside down. Written on it was, "I can give you a child." The employer angrily stood up and said, "I am the same age as your daughter. Have some shame." The old servant said, "I am telling the truth. I can give you a child." The employer replied, "Aren't you ashamed to say such things?" The old servant said, "I am speaking the truth. I will see that you have a child." The employer said, "Enough, be quiet. Today you have crossed the line. I will tell my husband." Then she said, "Get out of my way," and walked away. The old servant also left. The employer angrily went to her room and called her husband, saying, "Come home quickly." The husband asked, "What happened?" The wife replied, "I'm not in a state to explain. Just come home." The husband said, "All right, I'm coming right away." The wife hung up. A little while later, the husband arrived and asked, "What happened?" The wife said, "The old servant told me I can give you a child." The husband said, "He thinks of you like a daughter. How could he say such a thing?" The wife replied, "I can't believe it. He's been working in our house for so many years, and now such dirty thoughts are in his mind." The husband said, "I'll call him right now." Then the husband called out to the old servant, and after a little while, the old servant arrived. The husband asked, "What did you say to my wife?" Then the wife said to the old servant, "Tell him, did you say you could give me a child?" The old servant replied, "Yes, I can give the employer a child." The husband said, "All right," and then shoved the old servant forcefully, saying, "You should be ashamed. You've been working in our house for so many years." The old servant said, "You misunderstood. Do you remember when both of you were talking and you said to your wife, 'You cannot become a mother'? What actually happened was that one day, the husband told his wife, 'The doctor said you cannot become a mother. You won't be able to have children.' At that time, this old servant overheard their conversation. The wife said, 'We have everything, but no children,' and then started crying. The old servant continued, 'That's what this was about. This morning I went to the shrine, and there I found a lonely child lying abandoned. I picked him up and brought him to my home. I thought, I will give this child to you, and he will be raised well.' The husband said, 'Oh, so you were talking about this child?' The old servant replied, 'Yes, I thought both of you could become this child's parents.' The husband asked, 'Where is the child now?' The old servant said, 'The child is with my nephew. Call him, and he will bring the child here.' The husband said, 'All right, I'll call him.' After a little while, the nephew came in with the child, handed the child to his uncle, and the old servant took the child. Then he gave the child to the employer. The employer took the child, and the nephew said, 'I'll take my leave,' and left. The husband said to the old servant, 'Forgive me, I misunderstood. You were actually doing good for us. You are like parents to us.' The employer said, 'Forgive me too. I misunderstood. You were doing good for us. You have brought great joy to our home. Thank you so much.' The old servant said, 'No problem. Whatever happened, happened. Now we all have joy.' The husband said, 'All right, tomorrow we will have a big party to celebrate this happiness. You must come.' The old servant said, 'I will definitely come, and I will dance and celebrate with joy. Now wait a moment. I'll go heat up some milk.' Then the old servant left, and the husband and employer became very happy, all thanks to this kind-hearted old servant who brought great joy to their home. A like is well deserved for this old servant.